I just can't get away from a good time.
So I am here with one Mr. Lee Mason, the current cruise director on the Carnival Mardi Gras. And I say current because there's been an announcement this week. I don't know if anybody's heard about it, but the gentleman on my right here has been awarded the Carnival Celebration, and he will bring out the Carnival Celebration in all its glory as the new cruise director, the first cruise director of the beautiful Carnival Celebration, and you're the face of Mardi Gras right now as cruise director, and soon you will be the face of the Carnival Celebration. So one question I have is, you have to be available, and you seemingly are available all the time for all the guests at different events and things like that. When do you find some lead time? When can you escape and get just a little bit of time for yourself?
Well, it's not even necessarily about escaping, right? I'm one of these very strange people. I say strange, fortunate people, right? Because I work a job that I love.
Right.
People often talk about work-life balance, and where I found harmony is not trying to separate the two and to compartmentalize work time and me time. I just have like a work life.
Right.
I love what I do. I live through my work and I love my work at the same time. Port days, if you're thinking about when do I get downtime to just decompress, port days are the best time for a cruise director to really unplug. You'll often find us out in port, much like the guests go out, right? Go out and we'll find a beach or a nice restaurant, a cafe or something, somewhere with Wi-Fi.
Right, yeah.
Alternatively, that's a great opportunity to nap.
Right.
Cat naps are a cruise director's saving grace.
I'm sure.
But I genuinely love my job, and I know it sounds cliche or a little like Kool-Aid sipping, but I love it, and I love the people that I get to meet. So being accessible, while for maybe the cynical few would say, oh, you know, it's all PR and it's, you know, he's working on ambassadorship. It's really one of the highlights of my job, meeting people like yourself, sharing stories, learning about you and your passions, who you cruise with, where you've been, your values. Because the more I listen to you, the more I learn about what our guests enjoy, and the more I can feed that back up
Right.
to the office, and we can cater and share this experience and everything that we are. So yeah.
Well, and obviously you are at the absolute top of your class, and everything you just said, I agree with 100%, because you can't fake that. You really can't fake that. And I think the top cruise directors like yourself, I mean, you absolutely do love your job, and it shows. You know, it's not an act when, you know, you look surprised. I mean, you genuinely love, you know, everything that you're doing, and you're laughing, you're excited, you're everything. I mean, so that definitely shows through you. And, you know, like I said earlier, I mean, it's you know, a credit to you. But I mean, what's the expression, when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life?
Absolutely.
So absolutely, and that you are the poster for that expression. So that definitely shows. So, you know, to kind of follow up along with, you know, you say you go into port, and the port days are your moment to kind of get a little nap and maybe a little beach time and relax and everything. So you are just a couple weeks away from getting a much deserved break.
Yeah.
But you have a much deserved break before becoming the cruise director of the Carnival Celebration, which, you know, I'm sure you have a lot of anticipation and everything else like that. So what are you going to do to relax for your much deserved break? And are you going to be able to relax, because you are going to be the cruise director of the is that even possible? Like, can you even relax during your break here with the anticipation of getting on board the Carnival Celebration?
I mean, I am like electrified at the prospect of going and joining that ship. My vacation, I'm gonna go see my mom and my nan, because those two women, they brought me up, right? They are my family unit. So I'm gonna get some much needed family time. I love photography. I love taking photographs.
Okay.
So I've got a friend who's actually a cast manager in the Playlist cast, who's got vacation at the same time as me.
Oh, very nice.
So we're going to meet up with a friend and take a photography trip and just go. And that's a great distraction for me as well, like taking photographs. And I suppose it's a creative outlet. So I'll go do that and that'll distract me for a couple of days. But I'm always thinking about work and the guests and the experience. And I've got my Facebook page that I stay connected with everyone, and my Instagram page that I stay connected with our guests as much as I can. Even when I'm on vacation, I try to, remain connected, because if not, that inbox would just be like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then I get to see my girlfriend. She's going to be in rehearsals actually out in Miami. So I'll come out to America, go visit her while they're in the studios in Davie, Florida, where they prepare.
Is she in I
She's
didn't know.
in the Playlist cast.
Oh.
Not on this ship though. She's just
okay.
finished on the Breeze.
Oh, very.
I met her on the Splendor.
Okay.
And it went that well that she decided to keep me around.
All right.
And
Beautiful.
she's from England as well, so we live like an hour and a half away from each other. So it's quite convenient, and we get along really well.
Oh, that's awesome.
She puts up with the smell. John Heald suggested that she's blind and has no sense of smell because she'd be with me. But we do really well. So we'll get some time together as well. And I'm just gonna try my best to unplug. But I've already considered taking a cruise. How crazy is that?
Well, yeah, you should be on the other side of it, right? And you get to sit back and watch everybody else, do the type of job that you do. So yeah, I can understand that completely.
Yeah.
Will you and your girlfriend be on the celebration together?
Oh, I hope so. Right? There's no guarantees.
Right.
So my hope is that we can work together and be on the same ship eventually. That
would be awesome.
That's the ideal for the romantics out there. That's the
yeah.
The
and I know, because I've spoken with some bartenders and things like that are married, and I've heard that Carnival tries to accommodate
relationships,
requests and things like that. So I hope that works out. And obviously you have this new. You're going on the Carnival Celebration. You're going to be the cruise director, bringing out your first ship and everything. So obviously that's going to be a long time in it. But is there any other ambitions through Carnival or anything else you see yourself doing potentially beyond a cruise director? In some capacity like that.
I mean, Mike Pack, an incredible cruise director that paved the way. He brought this ship out, and a good friend of mine. Mike is now fleet cruise director, responsible for training and developing my peers, the new cruise directors that come through, and anyone that maybe you'll pop in and just do a visit, support visit. I'd love to go into training and developing one day.
Oh, awesome.
But I did tell my friends in the office, I was like, I've got a list, like a professional bucket list of things that I want to achieve and do before I can consider moving on.
Right.
For me, I think if you want to inspire greatness in others, you have to feel fulfilled or like you've achieved yourself. And maybe that's just my ego talking, but in order to feel validated, there's a couple of things that I'd like to check off to say I've been able to do that, even if it's just for the case of being able to sit in a chair and say, oh, when I was a cruise director, I remember back in 2023, and to be able to reference achievements that I've made.
Right.
So yeah, there's a few things that I've got to check off yet before I consider going into like a land-based or a fleet position. But maybe one day, who knows?
Well, I tell you what, if you're in the business of training cruise directors, I think you could definitely show everybody how it's done. I mean, obviously they're trusting you with the celebration and bringing her out.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get a much bigger honor than that. That's about as high of honor as it goes. So I have one final question.
Hit me with it.
I need a scoop, and I think I have a scoop.
Okay.
Okay, because you're all over the ship.
Yeah.
And it seems like sometimes you're all over the ship. You're here, you're there, you're there. Is there more than one Lee Mason
Busted.
on the ship? I'm
a triplet.
So. That explains it. Because as you mentioned earlier, you're answering social media, you're in Grand Central, but then you're on the Lido deck. And, I feel like, I have some coach cruisers and little stakeouts around the ship. And they're like, oh, I saw Lee up here on deck 15. Well, now he's down here on deck 6. So, yeah, what? Give us the scoop.
Okay, basically between Arnold Donald and Christine Duffer, they've mastered cloning people, and they do it to all of us. There's like 7 donkeys. We've got 3 Mike Packs who goes to different ships.
Okay.
Emma Pack, one of them's at home. She's had the baby, but Emma's out there. Kindle Fire is a popular one, so I think there's 15 Kindles right now. No, but honestly, it's a big job.
Right.
And it's one of the hardest parts of the job. The balance between being visible and not being overwhelming.
Right.
Because as a new cruise director, when I was finding my feet and establishing myself, it's finding that balance between not coming across as overwhelming or meddling in everything. And as time's gone on, I've learned to trust in the fact that when I do Family Feud, for instance, that's great exposure. So I don't have to like sneak into the comedy club and introduce a comedy show, because my comedy club host, T, does that.
Right.
Dara does it in the Limelight Lounge.
Right.
So I can make connections with our guests organically, and it's important that we do it genuinely, right?
Right.
So I'll go and grab a coffee and talk with people at the coffee shop. Or like I bumped into you in the elevator lobby.
Right, right.
And just have organic conversations with people out and about. I like to walk the Lido buffet. 1, because it's a great place for me to eat, and 2, it's a great place for me to meet people.
And I love that, you know, that you just touched on it, but that personal connection. And I know, you know, on a ship like this, you have 6,000 people, 6,000 guests. There's no way you can possibly, you know, run into everybody. But, you know, you mentioned Kindle Fire a while ago. That's one of the things, you know, I've enjoyed her on cruises as well. You know, just what you did. I mean, we've talked a couple times. I saw you on the Serenity deck, and we talked for a little while. The elevators, as you mentioned, we talked for a while. And just to have that personal connection, just if it's only a few seconds, you make that connection. I think that is one of the best things I find about cruise directors is you being able to make people feel a little bit more special, you know, and you do that masterfully. And, you know, I think Kendall, you know, it's just incredible. Has done a great job of that as well. And I mean, there's many great cruise directors, but I think that's one of the top things. And even your social media, you know, being able to reach out and touch, and that's where I'm wondering, how do you find the time? Because even in a channel like mine, I find it difficult sometimes to answer all the questions and things like that. And here, I know you're working 7 days a week, running around, you know, doing it, and for you to find that time to make those connections with people, I find truly remarkable.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I thank you so much for taking the time to share with everybody, you know, your life as a cruise director. And, you know, this week, I mean, just a couple days ago, officially announced the cruise director of the new Carnival Celebration. It's just been wonderful meeting you, and I thank you again so much for taking.
If I can, with one thing before I let you wrap things up.
Absolutely.
2 points. One, I know you, and it was very flattering when you said like top of my class, but there's so many great cruise directors out there, and
Absolutely.
just because I've been given the honor of bringing out Celebration, it doesn't make me any bad than the incredible team that are out there that do such an awesome job.
Oh, sure.
And secondly, and this one is huge, like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you know when this man is posting more videos.
I appreciate that you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lee. And the amazing Lee Mason, and he's on Facebook, and it's Lee, your cruise director. So yeah, definitely. So I'm subscribed. I'm definitely part of that group, and I enjoy all the updates that I get from the Carnival Mardi Gras, and I'll soon be getting updates from the Carnival Celebration. So I can't wait to get those updates. So thanks again, Lee.
Cheers, mate.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. All right.
All done?
I just can't get away from a good time.